Do you know this guy named Jimmy? You totally look like his brother, man. You totally do. Welcome into the Broforce Squad for episode 87. And with fall officially on the horizon, it's about that time where we start to think about the New Year's resolutions we're going to make in a few months and break probably by the time February hits. And of course, movies left before we turn the calendar to 2020. We all know Star Wars is coming around this Christmas, and with no Ryan Johnson
guys,
in sight to fuck it up.
We're the Broforce Squad podcast. He's Matt. I'm Brian. Our fearless leader's not here, so continue.
I did say we're the Broforce Squad.
Yeah, but you didn't say who was on the show.
Oh, well, they know by now. Jeff's not here. Substitute teacher. So we're going to talk about a few movies left in the fall of 2019. Brian, we got a lot of them left, actually, that I'm kind of intrigued to see. We got The Joker, Irishman. Jeff put on here Dr. Sleep, Ford versus Ferrari. I don't really know what you consider the fall, because even I'm probably going to talk about some December movies, but I'm going to throw it to you first. Which one do you want to talk about? One that you might think that'll suck, one that think you might be surprised about, or one you just want to see?
So Q4 is going to be strong for 2019. I think overall, with really aside from Endgame, and Netflix has had some pretty intriguing ones, but I think overall, as far as movie goes, 2019 has been a little lackluster, especially 2017, 2018 they hit hard. So I think Q4 for 19 is really going to hit us hard. This Doctor Sleep, I don't like scary movies. I don't like horror movies or thrillers. But Doctor Sleep, having a sequel to The Shining, I think is brilliant. And I'm intrigued to see what Ewan McGregor can do.
Yeah, so basically, if you're not up on what this is, of course, Jack Nicholson's famous role, The Shining, Ewan McGregor plays Jack Nicholson's grown-up son. And this isn't based on thin air. Stephen King actually came up with this book. So this is actually based off a book. It's not like Hollywood.
One that I haven't read either, surprisingly.
Wow. That's a first on the pod.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that really intrigues me as well, man, just because it's not something that Hollywood's just trying to do for a cash grab, like redoing Men in Black or something. Like, this is actually a book that they're just basically taking from and doing it, and it seems to be casted pretty well. Once again, The Irishman comes out November 1st, allegedly on Netflix. Are you excited about that, or are you wondering if it's still going to fucking happen?
I have no
what's
idea
going to happen
what
first? Will The Irishman be on Netflix, or will Antonio Brown actually suit up for a Raiders game? What's going to happen first?
Ooh. I think I might take Irishman.
I mean, the film is done, they said. So
yeah,
probably The Irishman.
The thing with The Irishman is I don't know what we're going to get. Like, there's been very little on this. I know we got the one trailer, what was that, a couple weeks ago? Maybe a month ago? But that's it. Other than that, we've just had a bunch of dudes' names scrolling across our TV, which, I mean, that gets me hyped only for so long. So I'm very skeptical about where we're at with this. Plus, some of the comments and stuff that have come out, they don't sound awesome. But I hope I'm wrong.
Let's talk about a few more before we get into the Joker. It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Tom Hanks. Probably going to get Oscar buzz. We'll talk about the Joker once again here in a second, that apparently is gaining a ton of Oscar buzz. I'm not really excited to see this. Mr. Rogers was way before my time. I knew of him, but I was more focused on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Doug at the time, I guess. I never really watched it. I think that's more 80s kids than 90s kids that'll be excited to see that. I just don't see this movie making a lot of money, because what 80s kids that have kids, middle school now, are actually going to take their wife to go see a Mr. Rogers movie? I guess Tom Hanks might pull some people in the seats. I just don't see why this is a draw at all.
Yeah, here's my thing. Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers, I just don't see it. I don't buy it. No. And sorry, Tom Hanks, but you can't have Walt Disney and Mr. Rogers. You pick one, okay? And I thought you were a great Walt Disney. You're not Mr. Rogers. You do fat for Mr. Rogers. Really, right, that's my only complaint.
Here's one, man, that I think this is going to get Oscar buzz. And I'm not kidding at all. I think this movie's going to suck, but I think Cats is going to get some Oscar buzz.
Yeah. Do we know, are they
I
going to
mean, possibly
modernize
for
it?
best wardrobe or whatever. Best. I mean, there's a
Makeup,
bunch of going to
yeah.
be some. Yeah, some cool scenes in this. Taylor Swift already looks like a cat, so they got that going for him.
Yeah, it
I,
may get music and stuff like that as well.
yeah, I think it'll clean up at the Oscars. I'm not saying best picture, best original screenplay,
No, it won't
best
get
actor,
any. It won't
supporting
even get
actor.
any notoriety for any of the ones that matter.
No, but I said it'll probably get. I'm book it right now. They'll get 3 Oscars for this movie. It might be some shit that you see during the commercial break, but they will get 3 Oscars. The other movie I want to bring up before we get to Joker, and this comes out at Christmas, but I don't know if you've seen the trailer to Just Mercy, which is Michael B. Jordan's new movie,
I have not.
where so he plays an attorney where he goes on death row and meets mostly, I think, all are African Americans that are convicted of murder and tries to get them off. And most it seems like what the trailer's showing is that these guys didn't really do the murder, and he's trying to get them off and set them free and stuff and make our judicial system actually work and make sense. But it looks like it looks like Creed, but even like more so great acting than what he's ever done. If you haven't checked out that trailer, we'll probably have Jeff link it below, but it looks very good, especially a movie that comes out on Christmas that if you're kind of out on Star Wars, you're not a Star Wars fan, or possibly you've already seen Star Wars, but you just want another movie to see during Christmas, I think this might clean up. I think it might actually get some money and possibly get some notoriety for Michael B. Jordan.
Okay, cool. Can we talk about Ford versus Ferrari for a minute?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Um, I think this movie's going to do awesome or really bad. It just depends on what Bale and what Damon we get.
November 15th it comes out.
Yeah. Like, are we going to get the batshit crazy Bale, which would be awesome, or are we going to get the doesn't give a shit Matt Damon?
I think we'll get the best of Bale. Bale, whenever he does just like the fighter, when he's
Yeah.
actually acting like he is somebody, like a real person, even when he does Batman or something, he really hones his craft and he wants to do service to that person and pay homage to him. So I think you'll get just as good a performance out of him as he was in the fighter, which actually won him an Oscar, I believe. Damon, I think he'll do fine, man. I mean, I hate Matt Damon, but whenever it's time to play, I mean, he can ball. He's fine.
Yeah, but he hasn't
I would
balled
have
in
preferred
15 years.
any other actor.
When was the last time
He
he
hasn't
balled?
had any roles to, though. He
Like
hasn't had
The
any roles to.
Departed?
He's been doing The Great Wall and bought a zoo movie.
And the
Whatever that fucking is.
downsizing.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't had a role since probably Ocean's 13 where he's actually like, okay, I need to maybe act a little bit, and this is actually kind of a serious role.
Yeah, but even then.
So I think he'll be fine, and I do think this will be a really good movie. I just don't know if anyone really cares about it. I mean, it's like a moon landing movie. Our generation's like, sounds cool, whatever, man. I was like, I mean, cars are going to fly in 10 years. Why the fuck do we give a shit about this? But I think it will be a good movie. It's just, once again, in the description here that Jeff has, Oscar buzz. A bunch of these movies are getting Oscar buzz, but are they going to fucking pan out? So that leads us right to our main topic. The Joker apparently is getting mixed reviews, and some people are saying Joaquin Phoenix is too nuts and can't act his way out of a paper bag, and other people are saying this is the greatest masterpiece they've ever seen, and they might as well just mail him the Oscar now to save time. What do you think? Because you've seen these trailers as much as we have, and being big comic book fans that we are, we started out as a fucking comic book podcast before we evolved to basically doing all movies. So I want to get your fucking take on this before I jump in. What do you think this movie's going to be?
I think it's going to be a very fresh take on the Joker. I think it's going to go away from the source material, maybe a little more than we would want or we would hope for. But I actually think it's going to surprise us. Oscar worthy, I don't know. I've never thought Joaquin Phoenix was all that great of an actor. I mean, he's fine. He does what he goes in and does. He's like that perfect middle reliever. You know exactly what you're going to get. He's going to go in. He's going to do what he needs to do to get by. I think that's about all that he's going to do. But I think the movie's going to be interesting and a fresh take on the Joker, which may reinvigorate us with some of the genre. We've been saying, we're kind of out on the comic book movies. So this may reinvigorate us with some of the superhero genre.
So I'm going to disagree with you on one thing. I think Joaquin Phoenix is a top tier actor. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I think his only problem is he's like Tom Hardy, where 90% of his roles, excuse my language, but only weirdos want to see him because the movies just absolutely suck, or they're stupid, or he has sex with a phone. But him in Walk the Line was fucking phenomenal. To actually be somebody that America loves. And there's only about a couple people you can do this with, and it's Johnny Cash, John Lennon, and Elvis Presley. That if you can do that role, and not only people don't hate you for it, but they give you praise for it, I thought he was phenomenal in that. Reese Witherspoon was as well. However, after that, he's made some artsy decisions, not really cash decisions. This movie, for me, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be weird. I think at the ending, not like weird good either. The big thing is, say this is a great fucking movie. Say that I walk away from this, I'm like, and as a huge Heath Ledger fan, and I think that's probably the best I've ever seen anyone act in The Dark Knight is Heath Ledger. But if I walk away from that saying, damn, he's better than Heath Ledger, he's the greatest Joker I've ever seen. But after that, then what? I mean, are they going to go anywhere with that? Or is it they just said it's a one-off movie, so after that, am I going to wait for Shazam 2? Like, what does it really matter if this is a fucking perfect movie and getting Oscar? If we're not just reviving the whole DC universe after this great movie, then who really gives a fuck? Because you're going to go back to making really shitty, like, AAA versions of Marvel movies after this. So what's it matter? I guess.
I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine what they're going to do. Who knows?
So those are the fall movies, and comment below if we missed any. Obviously, we can't fucking get to all of them. It'd be a fucking 3-hour show. So next is our protein shake, which is where we talk about what we've watched lately. Jeff Hornacek isn't on the pod. He gave us some stuff he's watched. I haven't fucking heard of any of these. Going the Distance, Paycheck, Catfish. Jerry Maguire, we actually did a movie commentary on that. That should be dropping in a couple days for NFL football. So, Banner, what is in your protein shake?
So I'm sure since the last episode I've watched a lot more than this, but I'm going to keep it short tonight. Watched Clue the other day.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
Nice.
It's great. If you haven't seen it, it's you can't even describe it. Like, it's a cult classic that's not a cult classic. It's awesome. Basically, Mr. Body, who's I got some weird feedback here, Geiger. Like, I can hear myself talking. It's distracting. I'm sorry. It's just like the game. They literally play the game. You have Mrs. Scarlet and Mr. Green and Professor Plum, Colonel Mustard, Mrs. Peacock. They're all there, and they're all getting blackmailed by Mr. Body. Mr. Body ends up dying, and it all happens over the course of an evening, like pretty much real time, like an hour and a half movie. And the police come, they kill him, and you have to figure out who the killer is, and it's just like playing Clue, and it's a blast. I watched it on Amazon Prime, so it's currently on there. If you guys have Prime, you guys should check it out. Next thing I want to talk about is actually not a movie or a TV show or anything. My wife has been trying to get me to listen to this for about a year now. My brother and sister-in-law said they listened to it, and it was awesome. It's actually a podcast. It's like a mini-series. It's called S-Town. Have you heard of this, Matt?
No, I haven't, but I love that we promote other podcasts on because we're all for other podcasts.
Yeah. So
please explain it.
This is a serial podcast. So they're the big people that investigate like murders and cold cases. And
okay, I have heard of this actually. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So S-Town, they thought was going to be something like this. Basically, this guy keeps emailing and calling them saying, look, there's corruption in our town. We live in a shit town. It's Woodstock, Alabama, but they call it S-Town because the guy always refers to it as Shit Town, Alabama. And he says, look, there's corruption in our police force. They're helping drug and sex trafficking, and they're covering up this murder. I know that there's this murder. This kid died, and he was killed by this other young 20-year-old, and his dad is he's from a very wealthy family in the community. They own a lumber yard. You got to look into this. You guys have the resources to look into it. So after like a year of emailing these people, they're like, you know what? Let's call him. So they call him, and they just start talking to this guy. Very eccentric, very interesting dude. He's a antique
So is this like in documentary form, or are they storytelling it through the podcast?
It's 7 episodes, and it's a little bit of both. So like they're telling the story,
and they have live clippings from it, kind of like a 30 for 30 or something like that. You're just listening to it instead of seeing it.
I don't want to give anything away. Kind of like that. So
okay.
He starts talking to this guy on the phone. He eventually ends up going down to Alabama, meeting the guy. The guy is a antique clock restorer. So he takes like these clocks that are 300-400 years old and restores them back to working order. And he basically goes down to Alabama and sees what he can find. Trust me, you have no idea what you're getting into. I didn't, and it is absolutely fantastic. I listened to all 7 episodes, which is 7 hours of listening, in probably 36 hours.
So is it Spotify, iTunes?
You can find it Spotify. You can find it on iTunes. It's called S-Town. And you guys just got to check it out. And then comment below. Okay. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to have a conversation, because there's some things that are left open that we don't know the resolution to. And I want your guys' opinion on what they are. So it's really good. And I've also been watching a lot of football.
Wonder if we could do a review on another podcast. We've never done that before. We've done reviews on movies and TV shows, but a podcast has never reviewed another podcast.
That'd I mean, I don't think it's not really a podcast. It's more like a mini series. It is a lot like a 30 for 30, or like the it's like a 4-part documentary or a 2-part documentary. It's kind of like that. It's just you just listen to it instead of watching it. But they do a fantastic job of painting the picture of this guy and this family and this situation that they're in.
For anyone in outside sales, that's perfect. I'll probably start listening to that this week.
Oh, you won't be, Matt. You will not be able to put it down. I don't think you're gonna love this guy. I just won't go into accounts. I'll just be sitting in my car the whole time. Yeah, you're gonna love this.
Sure, my work will love it. Yeah. It's awesome.
Then obviously football season started, so I've been watching a lot of college and actually watching NFL as we speak. Opening night kickoff.
All right, so I'm gonna bring up. We gotta be maybe careful about this, because Jeff will get pissed because of the what is actually in this, but the Netflix Dave Chappelle Sticks and Stones stand-up, which have you seen yet?
I have not yet. I need to look it up.
My God. So if you've heard reviews, you've either heard it sucks or it's great. And they're both true. They are both true. Depending on what type of person you are. If you are, considered, if you're in that snowflake category that everything offends you, for one, you're probably not listening to us right now, but you will probably think it sucks. If you are a classic Dave Chappelle person and miss stand-up comedy the way I miss stand-up comedy, which is like South Park style, like I'm going to make fun of everyone, everyone's free game because we're all just having fun, we're making fun of each other. I had a fucking roast for my bachelor party. I think making fun of your own self is the greatest form of just humor and anything you can do for yourself, because if you don't take yourself so seriously, I think you'll get through life a lot better. And he goes after Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, LGBTQ, school shootings, everything. And it's so Dave Chappelle-ish that there's 2 times you think he's going to tell you his social agenda and tell you how to vote, but he turns it into a joke, which is so refreshing that, and once again, this is not a political podcast. I've never voted before, so when I'm on my free time and I'm trying to watch something for entertainment, I really don't want to be spawned to vote because I'm not gonna vote. I don't vote. I just want it to be entertained, and it's classic Chappelle, and it's very well done. And I really hope that some people follow suit. The Aziz Ansari stand-up on Netflix was more of an apology tour than a stand-up comedy routine.
I agree.
I want to be. Me and my wife just want to laugh for a couple hours. Some of the stuff that was said. Am I taken seriously? Do I really think of those people? Absolutely not. It's just a funny way, to fill a couple hours and make fun of yourself. And I mean, he makes fun of white people. He makes fun of Asians. He makes fun of everything. So it back in the day, if you made fun of everyone, it was fine. Just don't pick on one group or don't spawn your social agenda. But now, if you make fun of anybody, then basically you just need to be taken off TV, which is kind of sad, I think. But this is a refreshing. It feels like a 1994 stand-up, which I thought was very well done. So check it out.
Somebody else that I know that also watched this show basically said, look, all of those lines that everybody's afraid to cross, like, talking about Michael Jackson and the race and the political stuff.
Yeah.
All those lines that are drawn in the sand, does he not only cross, he long jumps over them. He just doesn't care.
Right.
And I agree with you. I think that's very refreshing that we, in today's day and age, honestly, you have somebody that has the guts to do that. And what better person than Dave Chappelle? I mean, I don't know about you. One of my favorite shows when I was in like late middle school, early high school was the Chappelle Show.
If you didn't watch Chappelle's show in middle school, I think it came on Wednesday night. Thursday, you had nothing to talk about at lunch or at recess at all, because that's all that was talked about.
I have the complete series on DVD.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's great. It's great. And to see him back, obviously all the turmoil and problems that he suffered through and dealt with, to see him coming back, and now I think this is like his third or fourth stand-up and like
Netflix. Yeah, the first two they were okay. This one's fire. The first two were just okay.
Yeah, they were fine.
They're all right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't this one. And I just wanted to state it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny because there's some people that hate it. Are they wrong? Absolutely not. It's just that, some people like Taylor Swift and some people like Rob Zombie. Is one person wrong or right? No, it's just whatever you're into. And I'm hoping more comedians go to this because I love raunchy comedies, man. I love raunchy comedians. Stand-up, I went through a stint in my life in college where all I did was watch stand-up, from Robin Williams to Richard Pryor to Eddie Murphy back in the day. And they were all raunchy and R-rated and
Tim Allen.
You shouldn't say.
You think
Tim
about
Allen,
raunchy.
yeah, another one.
Tim Allen
Bob Saget has
super
great
raunchy.
stand-up. One more thing I watched, and I haven't paid $50 for a wrestling pay-per-view since I was probably in maybe a freshman in high school, probably 8th grade. But I bought AEW All Out this weekend, and I thought CM Punk was coming back. He didn't. However, I don't want to take that apart from the performers that went on there because it was a fucking fantastic show. I'd pay $50 again to watch it. And, man, WWE better watch out. The only thing that's saving them right now is the Bray Wyatt Fiend concept that they got going on that I can't believe they're fucking doing on a PG program. But AEW All Out, it starts October 2nd on TNT Wednesday nights, and I'm going to watch it every fucking Wednesday. We're even talking about maybe doing a couple reviews on the show, man, because they're bringing wrestling back. It's the way wrestling should be. There's blood. There's really great storytelling, really good matches, all types of different matches, and very good performers. If you haven't checked them all out, I don't blame you for not blowing $50 on a pay-per-view, but definitely check it out this fall, October 2nd, when it hits TNT on Wednesdays, man. Because Banner even watched it with me some, and you fucking even enjoyed some of it, dude. It reminded you of a kid, like some of the wrestling they were doing.
Oh yeah, I had a blast. Like obviously we were all hanging out, and you were locked into that, but I was playing other games and having fun with other people, and I think by the end of the night we were just locked into this. It was a blast. That tag team ladder match they had, Jesus. So
Absolutely.
much fun. I haven't had that much fun watching wrestling in a while. And I'm not a big wrestling fan, so that's not saying much. But it made me a fan. And like you said, in October on Wednesday nights, I will probably be tuning in just because it was a lot of fun.
All right, so now it's time for that segment. Banner, you got a question? Or do you have anything you need to get off your chest?
Yeah, man. I just need to ask everybody if they even lift.
So we scoured the internet, looked through every coven of it to find as many questions as we could to answer, and we found one this week throughout the whole internet. We picked Jarek Ginny Richards at Jen Eric Loves DSNY. You think that's Disney?
Yeah, I'm just gonna assume.
Cool. We like Disney, so
Yeah.
maybe we could grab a beer sometime. And they asked, what sports story of the past year would make the most intriguing film, and who would you cast as the lead or leads?
I mean, I think that I don't know if it's the most intriguing, but I think the most likely has to be Tiger Woods, right? Him coming back
Oh
winning
yeah,
the Masters. I mean, I think that's really, really low hanging fruit. Who to play Tiger Woods? We love this guy. It's got to be Michael B. Jordan, right?
yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, he's a little young, but yeah, Denzel could play him.
yeah, but I mean, I think that the whole
Yeah.
story isn't going to be just
Are you talking about just the
2019.
Masters this year, or just like basically a movie on
No,
Tiger?
it's got to be a movie on Tiger culminating with the Masters.
Okay, yeah,
Like, I mean, because he could play, he's in that middle ground where they can make him look a little younger and show him winning the Masters the first time and, all those other tournaments. Then he can play that super serious role of him going through all the stuff with him and his wife and the drugs and the DUI and all of that. And then obviously they can make him look a little older. I think having him doing the match with Phil Mickelson in there would be really cool too. I know that was last year, but if they had a little
yeah.
segment
That
on
was on
that,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't know who would play. I don't know who would play Phil Mickelson though. That's a tough one.
He's like skinny now, but Travolta.
No, I was thinking maybe Jack Nicholson, but he's too old. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm trying to think of what another good sports story would be. What do you got? Because I can see it on your face. I feel like you've got a good one.
Man, I think we need to do our women's World Cup team.
Yeah, that'd be that'd be
I
interesting. Because as
Cass, I mean Emma Stone, Natalie Portman, possibly as Alex Morgan. Frances McDormand could be what's her fucking ass? Megan Rapinoe.
yeah,
I
I
mean, I
could.
think that's probably the best sports story of the year, man.
Yeah, and that checks all the boxes. You have them dominating, them going up against the world, them not caring what other people think, plus all the controversy. You have all the political stuff. Again, this isn't a political podcast, but that Rapinoe goes through. You have them going through the lawsuit with USA Soccer to get more
Yep.
money and all of that. I mean, it checks all the boxes to be a good a good drama, but yet it would be a lot of fun. I mean, you look at the tapes of them in the locker room and like follow them on Instagram. They had a blast.
Yeah, they're all really cool chicks, actually.
You've
Like all of
got
them. See, this
Julie Ertz.
Jennifer Lawrence could possibly be one of. I don't know all their names, but I'm basically casting Frances McDormand as Rapinoe. I would like Emma Stone would have to dye her hair to be Alex Morgan. I would really like her, but
I think
possibly
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Brie Larson would actually make a good Alex Morgan.
Brie Larson. Yeah, she's really athletic looking. Jennifer Lawrence could be one of them. This is the problem with Hollywood, though, is so they'll remake Ghostbusters, make it all woman. They'll remake Ocean's 11 and make it all woman. But now we have a really good women's sports story. It could be a sports movie and about political stuff and like woman power, but they probably won't ever fucking make it, which is really stupid. But
I couldn't agree more.
that's what I'm trying. The only other one I was thinking, you already took about Michael B. Jordan, but I was gonna cast him as Antonio Brown because this shit's just fucking nuts, and I'd really like to see it in a fucking live action movie,
Just
like
a
a Wolf
comedy?
of Wall Street
Yeah.
type movie. That'd be fucking insane.
It'd be, but you would have to start him as not even before all of this. You could start it last year when he was on the Steelers. Just with
Well,
all
it
the
would
stuff.
start where he would be in France, getting naked, going into a cryo chamber, and then fucking burning his feet. That's
Yeah.
how it would start.
Yeah.
It'd be like a soft opening, and then the cast would roll. But yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for your questions, listening, everything like that. If you have any Twitter questions you want us to answer, tweet at us at Bro4Squad. We'd be happy to answer them, and we'll drop your name and do whatever else you want us to do. All of our shit can be found on YouTube and iTunes. That's where you subscribe to us. We have a website, bro4squad.com. Banner, I need to pay for your subscriptions. Email me your Venmo, by the way.
Yeah, I got
And
you.
we're also on Letterboxd because Jeff does that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
check out that.
if you ask us anything on there, I can first off, I don't know if you can. Second off, I can promise you that's going to be Jeff. It's not going to be me or Matt.
Yeah.
But you should still do it.
So for Jeff Hornacek, who called in sick today, Mad Scientist Brian Banner, I'm Matt Geiger. We'll see you next week. Be ready to check out our Jerry Maguire movie commentary dropping NFL Sunday, by the way. Have a great weekend, everyone.
And don't forget to pull over for emergency vehicles.